I've been thinking. 2020 was a very long year for most people, including myself. While the struggles we may have faced may have caused us pain or may have pressured us into facing what we fear the most, this long-winded year was like a difficult lesson. From the constant isolation to the feeling that I missed out on experiencing my favorite season, spring, to the perpetual reminder that I cannot fully control the chaos outside of me and even within myself. This lesson finally clicked at the end. We aren't guaranteed happiness in our lives, no matter how okay the conditions are. Sometimes it takes a little creativity to find joy. We aren't promised the transformation of ourselves and society into what we idealize. That's okay. Sometimes it takes a malleable spirit to face these extreme, uncomfortable periods of uncertainty. With this malleable spirit, maybe then we can be able to savor the moments and the process of our personal refinement. I like to use the example of starting a new book. You pick it up at the store, it sounds interesting, it looks interesting, and it's kind of like you starting a new chapter in your life. You're excited to start a new job or a new college experience, etc., etc. But as you progress in the book, there are parts that are extremely dull. Sometimes in life, there are moments that you don't want to go through because they aren't interesting enough, or maybe you wish the plot could change and be a little bit better according to your own standard. What we think we need to seek our whole lives may never be found, and what we hope for may never appear. Rather than viewing defeated expectations as a bad thing, I think I'm learning to open myself up more to exploring the immense possibilities that I never expected to pop up during that moment of time. To just know this concept is vastly different from truly understanding it and accepting this truth. And to live this truth out is harder than I realized. In a culture that applauds and I've got this attitude, it's hard to admit the truth. We are weak many times, and we have to admit that we don't know all the answers to our problems or the reasons to the circumstances we're currently facing. We can pursue two different trajectories. We can either be overwhelmed by all this uncertainty, the obscurity of the road we're currently treading, or we can overcome these uncertain circumstances by pressing on. We can decide to have the courage to pursue these opportunities, even though obstacles are in our path. The lovely thing about courage and faith and hope is that you're not going to be completely confident. However, you still decide to go onwards because even though you don't have that confidence and you're still fearful, you still get up every day and complete tasks and responsibilities. You still savor the moment despite crazy things going on. You choose to find meaning in circumstances rather than passively allowing circumstances to dictate your mood. And I don't mean in any way that if something bad or terrible happens, that you shouldn't feel sad or anything like that. I just mean that even though you have those feelings during this circumstance or situation, or maybe it isn't even a circumstance, you just feel down about yourself or other things, you still get up every day. And it comes back to having a malleable spirit. Malleable spirits aren't malleable because they're passive, but because they allow themselves to take form and to learn and grow from whatever is going on rather than to shatter. When facing uncertainty or hardship, we don't want to let go, but sometimes the best decision is to just go with the flow of whatever's happening. Sometimes the greatest strength we have while facing hardships is living out this truth and taking the time to reflect on how we are behaving. The swirl of thoughts and the granularity of emotions that influence the way we perceive our circumstances. Be still. I believe strongly in this concept that as time passes by, we finally realize that after letting go of what is out of our control is the main thing that relinquishes the monstrous fears that shake us up and make us tremble, the fears that cause us shame, and the fears that stir up rage within ourselves. It takes being vulnerable about ourselves and reflective of how our nature is. That is the thing that liberates us in the long run. Being honest with ourselves and being honest with others who we care about, and allowing them to be honest with us. Being quiet is the first step in the process of being honest about your situation. Awareness of unhealthy thought patterns, such as my distaste for feeling out of control of my life, is our main responsibility. Maybe you don't relate to hating the feeling of being out of control, and if that's the case, that's okay. We're all different. But the key underlying theme I wanted to talk about is we all have something that we desire to control, whether it be our autonomy or how much love we receive or how much influence we impact or how much information we know. We can't control that all the time, most of the time. And I just want myself, as well as whoever's watching this, to be okay with that. Have the courage to press on. I know this wasn't complete or specific, but I hope that it encouraged you. It felt refreshing for me to know that it's okay for me not to be the most knowledgeable or to be the most competent, to be out of control of certain things in my life, more specific things. It feels refreshing. So hopefully this resonates with your thoughts, and thank you for watching.